Hello and welcome to VHSO Cares, a program brought to you by the veterans and staff of the Veterans Healthcare System of the Ozark. I'm Laura Mortensen, I'm the Veterans Health Education Coordinator, and I'm your host. Today we have a very important topic to discuss, one that is difficult to talk about and sometimes makes people feel uncomfortable. But luckily we have Catherine Wetzel with us today, who is a social worker at VHSO and the coordinator of the Military Sexual Trauma Department. Welcome, Catherine. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Yeah, it's a very important month for us because we are raising awareness about this really difficult topic to talk about. And we are spreading the word about what services are available at the VA, letting people know that it's okay to come out and get help if anybody is still affected by a sexual trauma, and letting them know that there are services not just at the VA, but all across the state and the country. This is something that many people experience, and we don't have to be ashamed anymore. In fact, 1 in 4 women experience military sexual trauma, and 1 in 100 men experience military sexual trauma. And as you know, at the VA, we treat a lot of men, so about 40% of our veterans that we see in the program have experienced some type of military sexual trauma.
So what is MST, or military sexual trauma?
Military sexual trauma is kind of an umbrella term for anybody who's experienced anything from unwanted or repeated sexual harassment to any sort of sexual assault or rape or sexual trauma. It can be, a perpetrator can be either another veteran, a civilian, or another service member. It can happen on or off base. It can be while you're active duty or non-active duty. The only requirements really for someone who's seeking care at the VA is that they serve 1 day of active duty. There may be some other specialty eligibility criteria, but it's much broader for veterans who've experienced military sexual trauma than any other services. So I have several veterans that only received services related to their military sexual trauma because they may otherwise not qualify for VA care just because of the time served or financial reasons, but they come in and get services for military sexual trauma. So we offer a lot of comprehensive care. Today we have a veteran with us whose name is Stan McGee. He's been working with us in the recovery process.
Okay.
So I'd like to introduce Stan McGee. You're going to talk to us a little bit today about your recovery from military sexual trauma. How did you find out that the VA had services available?
It was actually just mentioned to me and through counseling. Other than that, I didn't have a clue that it was even available, because back whenever my sexual trauma encountered, it was a hush-hush thing. You did not mention it. It was a secret. It was all, you didn't mention things like that in the military. It was all, you hid those type of things. You didn't bring accusations against another service member for that type of thing. It was just a big secret. And in some ways today, it's still the same way. It's still a secret. They try to hide it. It's a stigma attached to men involved in military sexual trauma. It's just attached to it, and it still is today. We're trying to break that stigma, get more men who have suffered through military sexual trauma, get them aware that services are available to the VA today.
What's been most helpful to you, do you think, in your recovery?
I started out with seeking safety. I think that's one of the things that really brought me out of my isolation, because I see that what I was doing was actually not healthy, because I thought everything I was doing was healthy. I thought it was what people should do, the way they should live their lives. It was real difficult for me at first, but and it's taken time. It's taken a lot of time, because my trauma happened 30 years ago, and I've carried this with me for 30 years before I ever even thought about looking for any type of help or recovery, because I didn't go into the VA looking for help. I went to the VA looking for help for my addiction problem and my alcoholism. I did not go in there looking for any type of help for my MST, but my MST, I knew my MST and my addiction and alcoholism were joined together. So I had to find help for both, but I didn't know quite how to do that. But somebody helped me find a path and directed me in the right way and led me in the right way to do that, be able to do that, which I am so grateful for. The VA helped me do that.
If you knew there was someone out there watching this who had experienced military sexual trauma, what would be the advice you would give them?
The help is there. It is there for you. All you have to do is have courage and realize that you are not alone, that there are people there to help you. Strength, because we all have strength within us. We were all brothers in arms. And to come to the VA, ask the people there who will help you and guide you along the path, and you will receive the help that you need, because I desperately needed the help that I needed. And they were there to help you. And I guarantee you they will be there to help you and guide you on each step of that journey to find and get recovery.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. As a therapist, when I first start seeing people who've experienced trauma, there seems to be this idea that you'll see immediate results, or that there might be a quick or easy fix. Yeah. And so oftentimes I might see somebody come in for 1 or 2 sessions, and then they may drop out of therapy or have a setback. What can veterans experience, or what can they expect when they come into therapy?
I think that was one of my main misconceptions, that I thought they'd get immediate results. And I did get what I thought were immediate results right at the first of my recovery. Those were short-lived. I thought that I could just come in and get a little bit and expect a lot from it. But I realized that it doesn't work that way. I have come to realize that recovery is a daily process, it's a monthly process, it's a weekly process, that you have to continue doing it. It's ongoing every day. And whenever it's those times when you don't think that you need to be there, that is when you need to be there, because it's ongoing. It's taken me 30 years of carrying this every single day. It may take me another 30 years of working through it every single day to see better results of living than what I have now. And I look forward to going in there and working on my recovery. Sometimes I put things off just because it's so painful and so hurtful to deal with, but I still go in there and do what I need to do and talk it out with my therapist, just because I know that there's going to be some sort of brighter outcome at the end of it.
I got one last question for you. Your story and your recovery process are so amazing and moving. And is this just a fluke, or can other people expect to be where you are at some point?
I think everybody should expect that goes into recovery, expect to have a better life. I think that's what we expect. It takes time and effort and a commitment to it. But I think we all should expect to reach for a better life, because that's what we go into recovery searching for. And that's what it takes. And that's what we achieve if we work at it. Because mine's taken lots of work, lots of tears, and lots of heartache. But I've worked for it. And I've gotten somewhat of a reprieve from some of the heartache, some of the pain I've gone through. And I think that anybody that works for it should expect some sort of same thing that I have gotten, some sort of payoff, and it has paid off for me. And I would expect the same thing for anybody who would go into it, the same thing that I've gone into it with, and looking for some sort of help and some sort of recovery would get the same sort of type of recovery that I've gotten.
And I think...
No, I wouldn't expect it automatically.
Yeah.
But it will happen.
I think your story and hearing you talk is one of the reasons why we do what we do in terms of the military sexual trauma team specializes in these services, because we do see patients, we do see veterans getting better. And that path may look all over the place, but it is people getting better day by day.
Yeah. And that's what it's taking for me. It's day by day. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, what's that, one step? that goes
Sometimes
forward?
4 steps forward, maybe 1 step back.
Yeah, sometimes. I've gone all over the place,
Yeah,
but I've gone forward more than I think I've gone back.
right.
Now,
Me too.
it's gone forward.
Yeah.
It's sure a big difference between now and 6 years ago from where I was spastic in a chair and not being able to talk to anybody versus where I'm sitting today talking to you. So I'm very grateful to be able to do that.
I'm very grateful too.
Yeah.
This has been a wonderful opportunity to have people, come forward and dedicate lots of time and energy to spreading the awareness, and I really appreciate that.
Not a problem. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming today, Stan, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about military sexual trauma, you can call me directly. My name is Catherine Wetzel, and you can call that by calling the VA at 479-443-4301, and my direct extension is 67117. You can leave a confidential voicemail with any questions. And I want to thank our special guest today, Stan McGee, and thank you for watching VHSO Cares.